Okay, so hi, my name is Darren. I'm a team member at Beta and also a junior in computer science at Fountain College. And today we'll be going through something called App Lab. Uh, we'll be using code.org, and code.org has thousands upon thousands of tutorials and IR codes, which are super fun. Okay, and in this workshop, feel free to uh, code along with me or just relax and look at the concepts that we'll be going over. I'll be keeping an eye on all of the questions or comments come in. And Bradley, and Bradley will be, sorry, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. So Bradley will be in our Discord in one of the meeting rooms, helping out anyone who wants some additional support. Let's see. And he can go ahead and drop the link to our Discord inside the comment section. But honestly, if you're not set up on Discord, it's alright. I hope you got the link before time. But if you didn't, it's totally fine. Okay. So with that, oh, before I go on, Bradley, do you want to hop on stage and introduce yourself? So with that, oops. Actually, let's see. So I'm still sharing audio. 1 second. 1 second. I'm still sharing audio. Share screen. Okay. But okay, there we go. Let's see. So Bradley, do you want to introduce yourself before we go ahead?
Yeah, my name's Bradley Thompson. I work in IT, computer engineer by trade. I will be assisting Darren with his intro to App Lab.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove you from the
Oh,
stage.
wait, at the same time,
Yeah.
someone asked before if it was too late to register. Registration doesn't end until the 19th, but you have to register through an organization like a school. And it has to
Actually,
be. Hmm?
did we change? So did we talked about that in the logistics meeting? Did Hedison update the webpage with the individual registration form? Because we talked about allowing students to come in and form their own teams, but they can't represent their school, and they can only win the individual prizes. The school prizes will have to be donated to a school or organization of their choice.
Not sure. Well, let's check the Beta Hack site.
Let's see. Well, Bradley was checking that. We'll go ahead and get along with our workshop.
All right, go for it.
All right. So let's see. I'll go ahead and meet. Okay, cool. So as I said before, we are using a website called code.org. As I said, code.org has thousands upon thousands of tutorials. The one we'll be doing in particular is App Lab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to create App Lab. Oops, sorry, let me sign in. Actually, so you shouldn't have to sign in. So here's what I'll just do. I'll just do code.org App Lab. This is a specific tutorial that I want us to do. And I'll go ahead and post this link in the chat as well, in the comment section as well. All right, cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and try it out so we can go through this particular tutorial. Well, sorry, wrong one. Just go. Let's see. Well, I'm 19. If you're doing this along with me, put your age, but it's expected for you to be 13 and up to do this one. Okay, so we're gonna have this intro video to introduce AppLab. So I recommend, oops, I have to do something real quick. Stop sharing. So I need to make sure that I can share my audio for this one. Share audio. All right, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. Let me make sure that you can all hear properly.
My name is Milani. I'm an internetcode.org, and I'm also a computer science student. I like computer science because it's really creative. I get to be the problem solver. I get to make everything function how I want it to. But I also get to be the designer. I get to be the artist and choose everything and the creative side of it. Making your own apps is easy with AppLab. Whether you're new to coding or have some experience, AppLab is a great tool for building new apps and sharing them with your friends. This is AppLab. On the left side is your app. On the right side is the code that will make it run. You build your program by dragging in blocks from the toolbox. To start, you'll just have one block, called set property. The set property block changes the look of the elements on your screen, like the buttons, labels, or even the screen itself. First, you need to decide which element you want to change. If you hover over an element in your app, you can see its name or ID here. Then go select that ID from the first dropdown. Elements have lots of properties you can change, like their text color, background color, or font size. You can see the full list and choose which property you want to change in the second dropdown. The last dropdown is where you'll write the value you want to use. The block will make a suggestion for you, but you can always type in different colors or numbers yourself. Once you're done, the block reads a bit like a sentence. Set button 1's background color to green. Hit run to see the changes you're building in code. If you reset, you can drag in more blocks to change other things about your app, like the text. For this tutorial, we'll be working in block mode, but AppLab also supports working in text. Either way, you'll be programming in JavaScript, the language of the web. Each level has a goal, instructions, and an image of what you're aiming to create. If you're ever stuck, click on this picture, and I'll show you exactly how to complete the level. But see if you can do it on your own first. Once you've completed the goal for this level, click Finish to move on. That's all there is to it. Hit the orange Continue button to go to the next level. Start your adventure with AppLab.
Okay, so that's the intro to AppLab. About what it's all about. So let's get started. Okay, I'm just going to do one quick, before I go ahead and do that first activity, I'm going to do one quick check to make sure that I can always see how the stream is going. Let's see. Okay, cool. And let me to also pull up my magnifier to help anyone see. Okay, so this is just a cool little magnifier that I have to help anyone see. If it is making it any more difficult to see at all, please let me know. Okay, so let's see. So right now our goal is to make the screen green. And in this AppLab tutorial, it's self-guided. You can go ahead and come back to this We're just going to go through the basics. I'm going to go through a different tutorial to show you some additional functionality. Okay, now how are we going to make our screen green? Well, we're going to drag in a set property block. Use the drop downs to set the screen's background color to green and hit run. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to take the set property block. Okay. So we want to set the property of, we want to do a set property on screen 1. Probably want to change it to background color. I want to change it to green. So I select this drop down here. I'm going to select green. I could have also typed it in, but up to you how you want to do it. So now I go ahead and click run. You can see the screen turn green. Now, if you go back here, if you go through this yourself later on, there is, let's see, so my screen is blurry. They have this little help right here, but we're going to go through this rather quickly. Okay, so awesome. First step done in making this tutorial up. Okay, so now our next goal is to make the text bigger and blue. Okay, how are we going to do this? Well, you need 2 lines of code. Give label 1 a font size of 80 and text color of blue. Okay, so let's see. So what's label 1? Well, if you're in design mode and you hover over, let's see. Okay, just keep it in the comments. So to make sure that okay, where was I? Sorry, I was reading the comments. So if we're in design mode, we hover over an element, you'll see that it shows the XY coordinates of our current position of the cursor, but most importantly, it shows the label of the element. And this element here has the ID of label 1. Okay, so we go in, we want to set the property of label 1, it's already in there. We want to give label 1 a font size. Let's look for font size of 80. Okay. And we also want to give it a text color of blue. So set property label 1, text color. Do you want that? Oh yeah, so that's what we want. We want a text color. See if blue is in the drop down. Okay, give it a text color of blue. Now let's click run. Okay, it worked. So you made it bigger and blue. Okay. And if you have any questions about anything, what else you might be able to do with a certain functionality, I can answer those as we go along.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to post the link in chat again. I don't have access to do that.
Oh, which link? The Discord link?
The code.org link.
Code.org. Oh, okay, sure. Let's see. I think I'm actually able to pin it, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna post it in here. And they don't really, and this is also a self-guide tutorial. So it is code.org/educate/applab. But you could also just Google code.org applab. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this a scrolling thing. I'm going to make it a scrolling banner so you know like where we're at. So code.org educate. Okay. But let's see. And I'm going to remove this other one. Oops. Let's see. Oh, that is a comment. I'm going to remove that comment, show the banner. Honestly, I suggest just Googling code.org app lab if you want to code along. But let's get back to the tutorial. Okay, so now our goal is to make the buttons red and blue, and then change the text in the orange label, in the large orange label. Okay, how are we going to do this? So remember, you can hover over elements to see their ID. As such, set the background color of the buttons to red and blue. Then we're going to set the text property of the label to anything you want, like welcome to my app. Okay, so again, we're going to use the set property block. Let's see. And honestly, if it says the project is age restricted for me, let's see. So it's perfectly fine. Just select at least 13, select 15. Honestly, anyone can code, so don't worry about it. Refresh the page and try again. It's, let's see. So where was I? So actually, I don't want to pause too much. So Bradley, make sure you handle any of those comments. So if you run into this problem, the project is age restricted for me. Select an age of at least 13, I believe. Okay, so back to the code. Okay, so we're gonna get this set property. Let's see, set property block. But we want to make the buttons red and blue. Okay, so let's see. The ID of this button is button 1. So we're going to select button 1. We want to make it blue, so we selected background color, and button 1 wants to be red. Awesome. So we do the same with button 2. Grab a set property. Then we select a button. Then we select button 2. We want to change the background color. We want to make that blue. The last thing we want to change is the text in our label 1. So we set property of label 1, set property label 1 text to, I'm going to type in, so welcome to Data Hack. Okay, so now let's run it. Let's see. I'm going to post it differently. Let's see. So if you run into a problem where you need to sign in on Bitcoin, so let's see. Select go. So I'm going to change, I'm going to see if I can move my screen real quick. So I'm going to drag this in. Or I'm just showing the Chrome tab. I can't. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm sorry for the interruption. So let's run. Okay, so you see, it worked even though I did not spell. I guess it's something I have to. Okay, so I'm going to solve a quick issue. So when you log into, sorry, not log in. When you go to code.org/educate/applab, you want to select the intro to applab, not the try it out button. So let me actually share a different screen to illustrate that. Let me share different.
If you're having issues, you can just join the Discord and I'll help you with it. You can share your screen on Discord and I'll help you sign up for it.
All right, great. Awesome, because I don't want to keep interrupting. So at this point, I'm going to let Bradley handle the troubleshooting while I just go through everything.
Post the Discord link though.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and do that. I don't want to have too much things running. No, you should be able to. Okay, cool. Okay, so this Discord link will expire in 1 day. So you have to use this. Let's see. So this Discord link that I just posted in the chat. So if you go to this Discord link, you will be able to join the Discord and get help from Bradley backstage in our meeting rooms. If actually I think about it, maybe I should take a chance to go through show off the Discord real quick. So where is my Discord? I guess I'll take a moment to do that. I'll take a moment to do that. So this is our Discord. Let me stop sharing my screen. Share my screen again. So this is our Discord. The link that's currently showing on the screen and is currently in the chat will let you join the Bahamas Engineering Technology Discord. And you'll see there's a few channels. Welcome, which is where you'll start off. When you do so, let's see. There'll be this message at the top so you can get your student role. Let's see, I'll have to edit this. So I may have to put this in another channel so you can get your role because we want to ensure that we can identify you as a student. But don't worry about that. What's most important for our workshop is this meeting room. So Bradley is currently here in the meeting room helping out anyone who needs some additional support. So I'm just going to go ahead through the rest of the workshop, and I'm not really going to be pausing, but you don't necessarily have to worry about the Discord right now. We can always help you set that up later. In fact, you were supposed to have this link much before time, but I'm going to spill no tea. Okay, so with that, so remember, okay, Discord, meeting room 1 is where Bradley is to help you with any other issues. I'm just going to go ahead with the rest of the workshop. Okay, cool. So back to AppLab. Okay. Back to AppLab. Gotta be careful with this thing. Actually, in fact, let me edit how I'm sharing real quick. I'm gonna share this as a Chrome tab rather than a window. Okay, awesome. So now we're back in AppLab. Okay, so what we are going to do is finish this activity, move on to the next one. And once again, I recommend just watching along. Just walking along, typing in the chat any questions you have, because you can always go back to this later. And once again, I forgot something else. I have to share my audio so you can hear the video. Share audio. Okay, so let's look at how we make AppLab more interactive. How we make our mobile app more interactive.
Apps are really cool because it's kind of like starting your own business. I mean, you get to design everything from the ground up, you get to manage everything, and you're the owner of this piece of work that you just created with code. Now that you can change the look of your app, let's make it interactive by responding to events. Events are user actions, like clicking a button, scrolling through a menu, or hovering over a picture. Interactive apps need ways to respond to events, like playing a sound when I click this button. To do this in AppLab, you'll need to use a new block called onEvent. This program sets the screen to blue. I want the screen to turn green when I click this button. First, I'll need to drag in an onEvent block. By hovering, I know the button's ID is big button, so I'll select that in the first dropdown. Next, I'll choose the type of event. There's lots of options you can pick from, but right now I'll leave it as a regular old click. Finally, I'll add code inside the onEvent that will change the background color of the screen. You can read this block like a sentence. On the event that the button is clicked, run all this code. Let's test it. Blocks outside an onEvent still run right away, so the screen starts blue. And when I click the big button, the code inside my onEvent runs, and my screen turns green. If you want to change more things after the event, like the text on the screen, just add more code to the onEvent. To make your program respond to more events, add more onEvent blocks. Just make sure not to put them inside of each other. Now it's time to try it out for yourself. Have fun!
Okay, awesome. So that's how we make AppLab more interactive. So let's keep it pushing. I wish I had some background music, some lo-fi hip hop for this. Okay, so what we're going to do now? Well, our goal now is that the screen will start out blue. Add code so it turns green when you click the greenify button. Okay, so how do we do this? Add code inside the onEvent that sets the screen's background color to green. So again, if you look at the code that we currently have, we have a set property on screen 1. It changes the background color to blue. Then now we have our onEvent, our new concept. This onEvent listens on big button for a click and then runs the code that we put in here. And what we want to do is turn this, use the onEvent to set the screen's background color to green. Okay, so let's put the set property in our onEvent. Set property in onEvent. Screen 1, background color to green. Let's run it. Now, it's blue. Now let's press the button and greenify. Awesome, okay. It works, so let's keep it pushing. That works. Okay, something more interesting. This is the flashlight app, right? So help finish this flashlight app. The on button already turns the screen white. Run the app and try it out. Then write code so the off button makes the screen black again. Okay. How? Add code inside the empty onEvent that sets the background color of the screen to black and the text color of the label to white. Okay, so cool. So what we need to do is add code in the empty onEvent right here. And this listens on the off button for a click. So we're going to grab the set property. We are going to change the screen. Remember, we hover over, it just says, it doesn't show you here yet, but our screen is the screen 1 for now. I'm going to set the background color to white. Okay, so let's run this. So let's turn the flashlight on. Let's turn it off. Well, hold on, let's see. Something's not working. Wow. So let's look at it again. So what we want to do is set the background color of the screen to black and the text color of the label to white. Okay, so that means that we forgot. So on the off button, let's see, we forgot to set it to black. Wait, actually, sorry. On the event, it says background color of the screen to black, and the text color of the label, and the text on the screen to black, and the text color of the label to white. So we want to set the background color of the screen to black. Okay, I forgot to set it to black. Yeah, that was it. I'm just going to go in one time and change the property of our text, which is on label 1. We want to change the text color to white so it shows up. You can't see white on white. So let's reset and run. So it's off, on. See, on, off, life, death, life, death, life, death. If you got that reference, we can be friends. Okay, let's see. I'll give a disclosure that was a SpongeBob reference, honestly.
Next, you'll learn about adding images and sounds to your app. Let's start by checking out the sound options. In the toolbox, you'll find a new block called Play Sound. Drag it into the workspace. You can pick a sound to play by clicking the drop-down, then clicking Choose. From here, you can either upload a sound file from your computer or search for a sound from the sound library. The sound library has lots of different categories: instruments, background music, or animals. Once you've got the sound you want, click Choose. When this block runs, it'll play the sound you chose. To add images to your elements, you can just use the Set Property block. Select the Image property in the second dropdown. Then select Choose from the third dropdown. From here, you can upload an image from your computer, or you can look through a huge library of icons in the Icon library. Back in code mode, you can use the Set Property block to change the icon color of your icon. Once you've picked what image or icon to use, click Run to see how it looks. That's all there is to it. Now you can start adding images and sounds to make your apps even more fun and dynamic.
All right, so let's get busy with some images and sounds. And honestly, this is my favorite part, and you'll see why very shortly. Okay, so what's our mission? This soundboard is almost done. Run it to see how it works. Then add an image, text, and sound to the last button. Okay, let's walk through how. Well, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. The first thing that we need to do is add an on event to the program and set the ID to button 4. Okay. So let's see. So we're working on this button right here of ID 4. So I'm going to add an on event. I want this on event to be for button 4. And I want to listen for a click. Okay, cool. And I wanted to play a sound. Now I'm going to select a secret sound. Let's see. Upload a file. And so what I'm currently doing, you can't see it, but I'm uploading an image file. You can also record audio if you want to, or use the sound library for all kinds of sounds that they have. But I uploaded mine. Okay, cool. So that's step 1. So now we're going to add a set property outside of the on event to change the button's image property. Okay. So now I'm going to, if I could make it if I get a bit more space, and just to make sure that you can all see everything rather well, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay. That should be fine. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get a set property and make sure it's outside of my event block, because I don't want my set property for this image to be independent. I want it to be independent of the on event. In fact, for the sake of good code, I'm going to group my set properties so button 4. I'm going to change the image property, and just to illustrate that you can type in these fields, I'm going to type in image. All right. I'm going to set the image property using a dropdown. And next we're going to click the dropdown and choose our image. I'm also going to upload a file. And you can't see my file explorer. But what I'm doing right now is going to my file explorer and uploading an image. And this is my picture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and choose this image. So now that image is in there. The last step is we want to add one more set property to change the text. So we get a set property. We're going to change the text of this button 4 text. Let's see. All right. Okay, so let's run this. As you can see, it added the images and it added the image and text that we wanted. Now let's see. So the monkey says, I hope I'm still sharing my audio. If not, then oh well. That's what the tiger says. Now let's see what a Darren says. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to actually hold on. I probably forgot to choose my sound. I forgot to choose. Oh, I have to run it again. So, see, I hope you're learning from my mistakes. So reset and run. Okay, so let's try this out again.
Hallelujah.
Okay, so that's the sound that a Darren makes. If you ever approach a Darren in the wild, be aware of that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one. Awesome. Let's see. Now we're going to look at design mode.
To build your own apps, you're going to need to start designing screens and elements from scratch. AppLab makes this easy to do with design mode. Use the switch on top of your app to go into design mode. You can add new elements by dragging them onto the screen. You can move them around to different locations and change their size by dragging the bottom right corner. To change an element's properties, use the controls on the right. For example, it's really easy to change this button's text, color, and font size. When you add a new element to your screen, it'll get a generic ID like button 1. It's a good idea to change this ID to something more meaningful, like right button, so that you'll know which one it is when you go to the program. If you add an element to your app by mistake, just drag it out or hit delete. You can add entirely new screens to your app by dragging in a screen element. From the dropdown at the top, you can quickly switch back and forth between the screens you create. Inside your app, you'll need a way to switch between all of these screens. So the set screen block has been added to the toolbox. Use set screen inside an on event block to change screens at the click of a button. In the next few levels, you'll be working on a single project. First, you'll add a button, then you'll add a new screen, and finally you'll write code so that the button switches to the new screen.
Okay, that is the design, that's design mode. Let's see. And I realized we're past 2 o'clock. We did get a late start. We will wrap this up by we will wrap up the workshop by 2:30. So we get a full hour. And then we have another one at 3. So at that time I'll just ask y'all how y'all feeling. Do you want to come back at 3 or do you want to push it a bit later? But for now, let's focus on AppLab. Okay. So our goal. So our goal is to add a second button to the screen that says write with an ID of button. Okay. How? In design mode, drag in a new button, position and resize it. Then, oh, so it is like the stream. Oh Lord, y'all ain't easy, man. Okay. Then set its ID text, background color, and font size. Okay, so in the design tab, I'm going to get a button and drag this button here. Okay, now this button has an ID of button 1. I want to change this ID to right button. This is my right button. And I also want to change the text to right. Sorry, I zoned out for a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to resize this button. And let's see. And then I'm also going to go and set its, from here, I'm going to set its background color. Let's set it to, I don't know, let's set it to red since they have these previews here of like what your goal can be. I set it to right. And let's see. I want a nice bright red. There we go. And I'm going to set the text, the font size. Let's do, okay, 32 is good. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's watch it live on your phone. Okay, so let's run it. Nothing much should have changed, but we have our buttons. I believe we have what we want. Okay, so we have our left and right button. But I will show you another quick thing you can do on your buttons. So in your buttons, show toolbox. So you can click on, oops, sorry, I forgot. So I'm back, so it's not running. So if you click on the element, if you want to say you want this exact same element, you can go ahead and to the right side and click duplicate over here. I'm going to delete this by just dragging it over. And then I can do the same thing. So this helps with uniformity. So my buttons look the same. I can go in and change the ID, right button. I can go in and change the text, right? I can change the color. Let me just put in red. All right. If you don't see a change immediately, if you don't see a change immediately as you type, you can just click somewhere else, and it will update. And this helps with uniformity, which is very good for design. So duplicating a button, duplicating certain things that you want to look similar is a great way of ensuring a good consistent design. So we're going to finish this activity, move to the next one. I really want to help wrap this one up. Okay, and so now we're going to create a new screen called right screen. Add a text label that says you went right. Okay, so for an idea of like what, I see, do they allow us to exit? So an idea of like what this would look like, when we run our app, nothing happens when we click the right button. When we click the left, it says that we went left. And that's because we have our logic set up for that. We have code that, oop, no, I'm not finished. I was not finished. Okay, so how can we make our right button do something similar? Well, in design mode, we drag in a new screen element. Okay, if you want to change its ID to right screen, I'm just going to go sentence by sentence here so we stay on the same page. So let's see. So let's look for a screen element. Aha, see a screen element. You drag it on anywhere. Now we're on a new screen. Let's change the ID to right screen as it says here. Okay. And then drag the label onto the screen and change the text to you went right. So let's also grab a label element, drag it on the screen. Let's try and get that somewhat centered. I think the screen is like 320 long, so 160 should be about center. It won't be perfect. Well, it won't be perfect because it judges it by the left edge and not the center of the element. Okay, so I'm gonna call this label right message. I'm gonna call this right message. Make sure that you don't have spaces when you're writing names of certain things as well. And I really wish I had some lo-fi hip hop, but okay. Here's what I'm gonna do to spice up this stream a bit. So I'm going to have some lo-fi hip hop going on in the background. But Bradley, if you want to send me a message in particular, use the private chat feature. Bradley, if you want to give me a message, use the private chat feature instead of coming off of mute. Because if you do that, you're going to hear you're going to hear yourself in your mic, and you might not want that. So be wary of that. So let me get a playlist that won't get us copyrighted. But in the meantime, I'm at housing. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. I'm going to share again. I'm going to share the whole screen with audio. Oops, I'm sorry, this is the wrong screen. My bad. Let's see. Share screen. Audio, screen 3. Awesome. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me all right, because we have some music going in the background. All right, so now we're back to our our goal here. So we're going to create. So we created the new right screen, and now we dragged in the screen element. We want to change this ID to right stream. We did that, and we want to drag a label onto the screen and change the text to. We went right. So let's change the text in the text viewer here. I'm just going to copy and paste this. You went right. That's what they want us to do. You went right. Okay. You went right. Oh, we can also add some additional stylings like they have here. So let's make it match our right button from the previous screen. Okay, cool. So, sorry, that's, oh wait, this is text color, my bad. This text color. I want my text to be, well, let me change the background color first so we don't lose track of our text. I want this background color to be red. I want this text color to be white. I want this font size to be, let's try 32. And then I can also go in and align the text to center. I say I can make this text just a bit bigger. I can align the center, resize it. Let's get a good size so it actually touches like some of the screen. And by the way, if you have any music recommendations, let me know, but it has to be instrumental music, of course. No words, not taking any chances. Okay, so cool, we have our updated. So let's click, well, let's see. So we don't have the logic for our right button yet, but we're going to do this in the next step. Okay, so the screen switches to right screen, and the user clicks right button. Okay. Let's see how in the code mode, add an on event to your program for your right button. So let's do that. Let's add an on event. Add this on event to our right button. We're listening for a click. Okay, so we've done that. Add a set screen block inside of it that switches screens to right screen. Let's get our set screen block, drag that in. We want to go to right screen. So let's run this. PTS. By the way, how is the music? I can change it along the line. So like, let me know how the music is. I just Google coding music. All right. So where are we going? Actually, let's see. Let's see. Let me check something actually. What do I usually code to? Because this. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with this. We're gonna keep pushing. I was looking for something that sounded like Afrobeats or whatever, because that's what I felt like listening to. Wait, I'm not done. Oops. So let me go back. I'm sorry. I said I have ADHD sometimes. I don't think I finished. Okay, I did, I think. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're good to go. I'm sorry. Like, I swear I have ADHD sometimes. Though it is a serious problem that some people have, so I try not to make light of that either. So let's look at App Lab. I mean,
Hey, Darren, we're not hearing the computer audio.
Oh, you're not hearing the computer audio. Let me see what's up. Share screen, your entire screen. Screen 3. Share audio. Wait, so okay, so I never shared my audio. Okay, let me click on
Your
here.
phone number. Now that you've learned some of the basics of App Lab, like adding buttons, sounds, images, text, and new screens, you can make all sorts of apps. In the next level, you'll find the app you just finished building. A little creativity, you can turn this into a personality quiz for your friends, a greeting card that you can share with your family, or a choose-your-own-adventure game. All of these apps are just a combination of the skills you've already learned, and I bet you can come up with even more. Once you're done with your app, you can easily send it to your phone to see how it'll look. Just click Share and enter your phone number here. You'll receive a text message that'll let you open up your app instantly. You can also share a link to your app over social media, or publish it to the code.org public gallery for other people to play and share. You've just scratched the surface of what App Lab can do. Full App Lab features more advanced user interactions, new screen elements, and even a built-in database, so you can quickly build full-featured apps. At code.org/applab, you'll find the full tool and lots of ideas if you want to keep going. Thanks for coming along the ride. Now go build and share your first app, and keep on building apps with App Lab.
All right, cool. So that is how you share your app. It's going to look a bit different for us since some of us are in the Bahamas, and I'll walk you through that. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to show you how you can share your app. Let's see. So build your own app by extending this project and share it with someone. Now, you have the option to go through this tutorial yourself and extend this app, but this isn't an app I'm going to extend. Rather than extend this, I'm going to show you something else that I made that's going to show you how to use the data portion of this, which is really powerful. But before I do that, let me show you how you can share. So we go and click share at the top. Oh, I forgot. So you have to make a code or account to share your project. You can use your email, simply sign in with Gmail. Honestly, at this point, if you really want to be like in tech. Okay, we just got a very good question. When you share your app, can others make modifications on it? Yes. So, okay. So let's see. So let me go ahead and sign in so I can do that. So I'm going to sign in with my Google account. And to share your app, you need to sign up at codepad.org. It'll help you do that once you get to this point. If you don't have your own email, I highly recommend getting your own email. It actually is a must for most things you want to do nowadays. So let's see, where was I? Okay, so we click share. And we click send to phone. Now, the text message thing won't work for a non-US number. I'm not sure if it works for Canada either, because I think we have some participants in Canada. But what you can do is scan this QR code. And what you can actually do too is scan this QR code here. Scan this QR code here yourself, and you can, with your phone, and you can, that's what I'm looking for. And you can use the app. And if you don't have a QR code scanner for your phone, if you do not have a QR code scanner for your phone, you can download it from the App Store or Google Play and scan this QR code here, or any QR code to open the app on your phone. But you can also use this link I just posted in the comments or chat. To me, it looks like comments to you. It's like a chat, same difference. But you can use the app on a regular computer or laptop too, because this is all built in. It's actually all built in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we're just using the things that the nice people at code.org made for us to develop our apps. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this might look like opening it on a computer. So oops, sorry, I missed the link. So I'm going to go copy, go to new tab, and paste. This is what it looks like opening it on a computer. As you can see, the app works. Okay, and that's all we made this app to do. Now, to the question that's currently showing on this, to the question that's currently showing on the screen, when you share your app, can others make modifications of it? Yes, there. So on this example here, you will see the option to make your own. And when you click, so you can click the option to make your own or simply view the code. Now, when you just view the code, it will either just see the code that's in here, but you won't be able to edit it. At least I thought you wouldn't be able to. Oh wait, sorry, this is my project and I'm signed in, so that's why I can edit this, but you wouldn't be able to. You could also click make my own. Make my own. If I click this. Okay, so actually, no, clicking make your own will take you to the App Lab like information page. Okay, so this is how. Actually, let's see. Okay, so to answer the question, when you share your app, others do modifications on it. So there aren't. So when others won't be making modifications to your code, what they will do, they will be remixing it. And when they remix it, as you can, so I just clicked remix. When they remix it, they get their own copy of it. So this is a copy of it's a copy. It's a copy, to say the least. Now, for collaboration, what I recommend you do to collaborate on each other's code, you should you can share, let's see. Actually, I think I'm missing something. Am I missing something? Actually, no, I'm not. So what you can do, you can remix each other's projects. So if someone shares their project with you, so let's say someone shares a project with you, right? You go ahead to do code. Let me open an incognito window so I won't be logged in. Okay, so you share your project with someone. What they can do is click remix, and so they get a copy of your code. So what you can do is keep sending different versions of your code. So let's say, hey, I work on some initial logic, I design the screen, I have some listeners. Someone else can remix it. So you can send it to someone else and remix it. And when you do that, my advice is when you remix it, right? Oh, I have to log in. So I can't show it here because I'm using the same account. Maybe I should have been doing this with Bradley. But for the sake of time, if you have any trouble with collaboration, just ping just like ping me in the Discord. Maybe I'll make a video on how to do it and put it in there later. But we're short on time, so I gotta move on to the next thing. When you I'll say this: when you remix your projects, add like, I'll show an example here. For example, you want to name the code as like, oh wait, this is the view only. Sorry. You want to view the code as like, you can also switch between blocks and text. Sometimes it'll be useful to switch between that. So let's say my beta hack app. So when you share your project and someone remixes it, you might want to do my beta hack version, like version 2, like on version 3 and version 4 and so on. And that's my advice for that. There's also a version history. For example, if you mess up and you want to go back to your previous version from the last working version, you can click version history and restore a version. I think you could also preview it before you restore. And I advise previewing because I'm not sure you can get back your current version if you restore certain versions. So as a warning, I will warn you on that because I'm not sure if you can get back certain versions. Okay, but it's all on AppLab. There's one more question I want to address. Is there a way to get your app on Play Store or App Store? So this, no. If you're interested in learning about how to build Android or iOS apps, I do that as well. You can also ask me about that like in the Discord. But for this, no, because this isn't like an Android or iOS app. This is pretty much a web app that's specially designed for a phone. Okay, whew, that is a lot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is show you this other project. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I gotta pull up my notes for this next piece. One note, so bear with me. I will, if I hip hop, so bear with me on this part. I will put on some lo-fi hip hop as I do this next piece. Okay. Oh, actually, this one sounds fun. Okay. What was I doing? Ah, yes. Let me zoom out a bit so this is a bit more easy for me to view. So when you create your CodePath account, it might look a bit different, but you'll be able to find the sections on projects, studio.code/projects. Actually, let me sign. Actually, no. So I want to show you, I want to demo this app for you called Voting App. And this demo will show you how to, well, introduce you to the data tab. And also let me know if the music is too loud or not. I want to make sure that you can hear me as clearly as possible. Okay, so you might have remembered that they mentioned data. You might mention they mentioned data. Okay, so the data tab allows you to create data tables to store certain information, and they also have an extensive library of information. And I'm gonna highlight this, and this is very important. If you go to science, you can see that there's a data set on COVID-19 cases for countries, COVID-19 cases in the US. Now, you know our theme is shift and adapt. And one of the things that inspired that theme, one of the things was COVID-19 and how we had to adapt to a new way of living, a new way of doing business throughout the pandemic. I think it would be very worthwhile to check out this data set and maybe integrate it in your project if you want to create a solution that helps us navigate COVID-19. I'm raising up my cameras over here and I'm talking to my screen. Hey, anyway. So that's the data, but let me introduce it to you through this app. So I'm gonna show the blocks. Maybe it'll make it a bit easier to understand since it's color coded. Where is my OneNote? Because I need my notes to help me. OneNote, because I want to make sure that I touch on all these things. Okay. And thank all of you for hanging out with me today. We're not done yet, but like I realized that we had like the technical difficulties. You had the technical difficulties at the beginning, and then some technical difficulties throughout. This is like a new platform that I'm using for this production. My first time streaming as well. Let's go. Okay, so cool. I got my notes. Okay, so here's what this app does. I'm gonna be looking, guiding you through it via the comments. Gonna zoom in a bit to make sure you can see it very well. Let's see, there should be a scroll bar here. I thought there was a scroll bar. Show text. Maybe it's only on show text. Okay. I guess I'll zoom out. Okay, let me collapse this toolbox. So here's what this code currently does. Okay, so so this is a voting app. So basically, a person can vote for whether they favor a dog, whether they favor a dog or a cat. When the cat is clicked, it adds an entry to the vote table database that we have, and that is this database right here, a table. So when the dog clicks, it adds an entry to the vote table database. And then we have additional code here that handles how you show results. Read all the records from the database, tally up the votes for cats versus dogs, and then show the results in a chart. Okay. And so let me run this. Let's try out this project. So I'm gonna run it here first to show you what it looks like. Oh, let's see. So if I run this here, let's see. Don't worry. It's not hard, Chloe. It's not hard. Trust me. I actually just learned all this last night. I'm not gonna lie. Well, not all of it, but like I made this last night. It's my first time using the data table, using the data section last night. And I was able to make this. So don't worry, you can do it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to, I guess, don't hate me for this, but I'm going to go with the dog this time. I'm in a better mood. Okay, so as you see, the results are in. And what you will see is that, hey, it's making a pie chart for us. And now I'm going to share this out with you. I want you to try this out. I want you to try this out. Wait, actually, no, before you do anything, before we're trying this out, so you will see that, hey, we have some new entries in our table. I clicked dog and it made a new entry. So now so those are what we currently have in our table. So let's see, what was share assignment to click. Okay, so I want you to use this app. Feel free to open it on your phone, or feel free to open it on a new tab on your computer. Let's see. When you've used the app and voted, let me know. Let me know in the comments, because
Looks like we lost Darren for a second. Let's see if we can get him back logged in.
I need to show you like how things. Okay, y'all. So apparently, Caleb Bahamas didn't want me to be great in that instant. Okay, so by this point you should all be back. So there. Yeah, Caleb Bahamas didn't want me to be great. Had some Wi-Fi issues just now. Okay, so anyway, so I hope you all would have voted using the link I sent in the chat. Give me a thumbs up or whatever in the chat that you voted, because now I'm going to look at my data table. Okay, so see, before we only had dog and dog. Now we have new entry in our data, cat. So we're going to reset this. I'm gonna let's see. And let me see if back to data. Let me see if anyone's still voting. Let's see, can I get someone else to anyway, so I'm gonna go and vote again. This time I'm gonna vote cat. And see. Okay, so a lot of people are voting. Okay, so cool. So this is really powerful, right? We live in a world where data is really important. And there are probably a lot of businesses or government processes in Bahamas that you would rather use like a mobile app for. So imagine you could collect responses from people like this. Now let's get into the code to understand like how this works. And this is also an exercise in showing you all how to navigate new things via documentation. And documentation is where you learn. Documentation outlines like how to use pieces of code. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the code now. I'm gonna reset this. So what we have, okay, so let's assume that I personally do not know what any of this, what any of the code does here beyond like the on events. So the first thing I see is that, hey, we have this thing called, maybe I should, I hope you all can see. I hope you all can all see my text very clearly. So we have this thing called create record. You have this function or we have this method called create record. Well, let's see. I don't know. So what does this do exactly? Like, let's see. Well, I can discern from, since if I show my two blocks, I can discern that, hey, this green piece of code is for data and it creates a record. But what does it do? There's two things I could do here. One, I believe that, okay, so sometimes after typing, sometimes after typing, it like opens things for you, but I'm just going to show you how to get to the documentation. Okay, so if you want to know what something does, you go to this question mark in the top right corner, and you go to App Lab documentation. And they also have some additional tutorials you can check out if you want to dive into this some more. So I'm going to go into documentation. I want to know what this create record thing does. What is create? Okay, so here's the App Lab documentation. It explains like all the methods, in the UI controls, data, variables. Okay, variables. And so I want to know what create record does. So where can I find that? Well, let's see. I know it's in data because it was green, right? It was green. It was like this green color, and data is like the same shade of green. So I know I need to look into the data tab. So let's look in data. Create record. Let's information. So I'm going to go through this documentation, right? So we said we have a create record. If you're familiar with functions, you'll know that this method accepts a table, a record, and a callback function. And a callback function is just the things that we want to do when creating a record. So let's see. So using AppLab's data storage, so category using AppLab's data storage creates a record with the unique ID and table name provided, and calls the callback function when the action is finished. Adding permanent data storage to your apps is the last step to making them real world. The apps you use every day are driven by data in the cloud. And by the cloud, it just means like it's stored somewhere in the server far away, accessed via internet. But hey, they have this useful message here. First time using app lab table data first time using app lab table data storage. Read a short overview of what it is and how to use it here. So let's see. Hey, so I'm a first time user. I want to see what this does. Let's right click. Let's go over. So I'm going to look at this intro. Okay, so they have some intro to concepts. And I'm not going to go through this, but it shows you what, gives you an overview of what all these things are. Helps you understand tables. I guess there are some definitions that I will go through. Okay, so this is an example of a table. And this table has a row of column names, and then each row is added to table fills in one or more of the columns. AppLab's table data storage lets you store similarly formatted data and provides some functions to read, create, delete, and update records in the table right from your app. And a table is just a collection of records. A record is just a row in the table, like right here. This is a record. Persistent data storage. And persistent data storage is what we saw with our cat versus dog app. When someone responds, it saves the information, and the changes are kept as more people use the app. Okay, so you're going to want to have a look at this to get a general overview of the data functionality. I think it's also possible to impart your own data sets to create them, but I know if you have time for that. But anyway, so this is definitely what you want to do if you want to be able to learn more about certain things. Okay. So let's see how we dissect a function. So I want to know more about create record. So let's see. I can come in here and see they have an example. Well, let's see. I don't really understand these functions that well. But they have some messages here. It says, so a console statement means that's going to show up in your debugger. So I'm just going to copy this code. And I'm going to go and create a new project. I'm going to scroll down, create app lab. I'm going to open this in a new tab. So I'm going to call this create method test. Okay. So to paste in that code, I'm going to show text. I'm just going to, and I just pasted that in. I use Control Z on my laptop. You can right click, paste however you want to. I hope you're all familiar with how to do that. I'm going to collapse the toolbox so I can see a bit better. So this is a console.log. These statements will show up down here in our debug commands. So let's see what it says. So let's see. So create record, fast foods, name Sally, age 15, food avocado. What is that? What's that about? So it seems like these are related. What this is a table. Sorry, not a table. This is a record being made. This is our table name, and this is our table name. How do I know that? Well, if I went down a bit more, you'll see that it has syntax. And syntax is just basically just the rules of how to write the code. So we see in the syntax, create record accepts a table. So right here, if you don't, so right here, creating record, you make the name for your table. You set the name for your table. You pass in the record as key value pairs. And remember, this is an example of key value pairs. well, actually, sorry, no, this isn't the key value pair. This is just a record, so you just pass it as such. It's not a key value. It's not a key. Well, there's some additional logic behind that, but a key value pair works like an ID and the information you have. It makes the ID for it. It automatically makes the ID whenever you create an update. It'll handle creating the ID for you. I don't want to get too deep into that. Okay, and then you have the callback function. Okay, so let's go back to our test. Let's run this code, see what it does. Huh. So this okay, so this is a good chance to show you how to debug. I'm going to use my magnifier so you can see a bit more clearly. So this is my magnifier. So it says error line 5. Oops, we can't figure out what V is. So let's go to line 5. What's on line 5? See, I accidentally typed something on line 5. Let's just remove that. And it's a good... Okay. So let's run this. Let's reset and run again. So let's click run. Okay. So this is what... Let's see. So it logged these statements for us. It says, I'm excited after the record has been created. Sorry, so this statement indicates that this command here is executed after the record has been created. And this right here, this is how you would access record, not access record. This is how you can get record information. So you want to get the record ID. So what we just made was a record, and this automatically assigned an ID to it. But let me quickly show you how you can get more information. So let's say I want to get more information from a record. What was all the things that we made? Well, we made a name, age. So let me actually open up the table. So we made a name, age, and fluid columns when we created our table. When we created our record. I say I want the name. I'm going to change this name to be Darren, age 19, food. Let's say shrimp. And let's say I want to get that information. Well, I go record. I want my name, so I go record, and then the attribute of that record, I want the name attribute. So let's run this again. Let's see. Oh, so let's run this again and see what happens. Aha. So the new record we created has an ID of 3, and the name that we set has an attribute. Has a value of Darren because that's what I passed in. Let's see. So again, it might be a lot. So again, so here's a very similar thing. This part is almost similar to JavaScript. This is JavaScript. Like I said, we're building mobile apps, but these are really like web apps that are especially built for phones. Okay. So don't worry, you can totally honestly, I'm honestly not. So I never did JavaScript, can't relate. Honestly, so right, like I'm no pro of JavaScript either. I honestly need to go and review like how to use JavaScript, HTML, and DOM. Like I really did that because I just did HTML, CSS. I got tired of it. But we could talk a little more about that in our next workshop, which I'm gonna push back because we went way over time. But you all stuck it out, I guess. Awesome for y'all. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so that is how you can. That's basically how you as an intro to using the data table. Additional things you can do. You can clear the table, and you can clear the table, export it as a. actually don't worry about it. CSV is just like, you can basically get like an Excel file. But what I want to illustrate from an cat app, if I want to clear the data, I can do clear data. But what was it I want to show you? Where's the code? Oh, this cat app is a great example of how to oh gosh, no, use records table, because it uses a create record and read records. Because what it's doing is, we initialize variables for dog and cat votes, set them to 0. We set our total vote to the length of the records, because every vote is being inserted as a record. And then we loop through, then we use a for loop. Remember JavaScript? What dev? I hope y'all got to some of this. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, don't worry. So we have this for loop to go through each of our records. So for a variable I, while I is less than the amount of votes, if the record sub I, this is an array, by the way. I don't know if y'all got to go through arrays, but we use this this value to go through, this value starting at 0 to go through each of our records. And so we get a record back, and we want to check then if the animal attribute of this record is equal to cat, then we increase the amount of cat votes. Otherwise, we increase the amount of dog votes. And then we have this other function here called draw chart, which comes from our data. It's somewhere up in here. Here it is. And then that is what makes our cat app, our graph works. Okay, so that was a lot. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Let's get to these. Any questions? And I will post links to certain things in the Discord. I'm going to add a new channel called I'm going to add a new channel called Help App Lab. And in this channel, okay, sorry, 1 second. Okay. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. So I can do this in free time for practice. Yeah, she can do this in free time for practice, go on code.org. But the last thing I will show you on this workshop is that we can okay, so let me stop sharing real quick. Actually, I can just drag it over. I'm going to drag over my Discord chat. So I just added a channel called Help App Lab. Let me go in. App Lab. In this channel, you can submit any additional questions you have about App Lab. And during the hackathon time, well, you can ask me questions throughout the week. I can't promise I'll always answer, but I definitely will be on call during the actual hackathon. But in this channel, you can ask questions about App Lab, and I'll see if I can pop in and answer them as we go along. Okay, so I need to ask this real quick. So we had another workshop scheduled for 3 o'clock, but we just went like 3 hours. Sorry, not 3 hours. So we just thought almost like, well, actually no. So we went like an hour and a half in this workshop, and we started late because so they didn't want me to be great. Let's see. Do y'all want to take an hour break, and come back for the next workshop at 4 o'clock? let me know. Okay, so I need to. Okay. Child, looks like some parts of my thing freezing up on me. I hope it doesn't. So Discord done.
What are you trying to do with Discord?
Oh, I was so no, I just see my Discord. The Discord wasn't being responsive. Yeah, but it's no problem. Let's see. So, oh gosh. So I'm just going to quickly create a poll real quick. Multiple choice. Yeah. Honestly, you could have totally stopped away from the workshop one. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So workshop. So the next workshop will resume at 4 p.m. Go take an hour break. Honestly, I haven't eaten yet either. I came straight home and tried to get myself set up for this workshop. So yeah, we're gonna take an hour break. We're gonna come back at 4 o'clock. So I will, and we have another link. I'll post that inside the chat as in the Discord. Actually, I guess I can post it. Actually, I can post the link right in here. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. But yeah, if you haven't had anything to eat yet, just like go be great. Come back at 4 p.m. That's when we'll do the next workshop. Let me post. I'll end this. I'm gonna end this stream. But I'm gonna end the stream. Bradley's gonna make sure that you have the link to the next stream, and as always, you can connect. You can look. You can go into Discord.
I still can't post links in YouTube chat.
Oh, I forgot. I have this disabled in case you have like any people. I can post links. So I'll do that. But actually, post it in the Discord. Actually, post it in the Discord. But if anyone's waiting for that next link, let me try and get that to you. Let me get that to you right now. I need to. And that's something real quick. Try to get this link. How's the music, by the way? Let me know this is like a good one. Let's see. All right, see y'all at 4. Go get rest or find food. I got some fish and chips waiting for me. Gosh. Okay, so if you're, gosh, so get shareable link. Okay. Here is the link to the next workshop, which will resume at 4. In case anyone was waiting for that, I'll have that up for about another minute. Then I'm gonna end the stream. Actually, I can end the stream. The chat will still be there for a while, but this is the next workshop. I will see you all in a bit, and we got some really cool things to go over to, like and some cool guests as well, surprise guests. So see y'all around at 4 p.m. I'm gonna end this broadcast, y'all. Your boy needs to eat.